Okay, everybody, so we are going to be going over how to set up drawings. This is going to be with the write-up drawing setup. So first thing that you want to do is come into ProjectWise and open up the drawing that you're going to want to do this in. So this is going to take a second. Okay, so once your file is open, first thing that you're going to want to do is come down and go to Model. So this is going to be where you reference in all your extraction information and anything that you want to draw, sections, details, anything you want to draw manually. This is where it's going to go. Any annotation that's going to be on the model or on the drawing is going to be under default. So we want to go to references and we're going to attach our first reference, and it's going to be a plan. So we want to go to a model that we are going to be using. And the one thing that you want to make sure is that attach method down here is set to interactive. If it's not set to interactive, it's not going to give you the next dialog box. So under this dialog box, we want to make sure we're using the extraction that we want. So grab the extraction submodel that you want to use and come in down here and select coincident. Next thing is make sure this is set to 1:1. All plans are going to be 1:1 and no nesting. After that, everything else is set correctly. We can say OK. Do a fit view and deselect. Now here is our plan that we want. So what we're going to do is once the plan is in here, we want to draw over what that extraction actually says. As you can see, it's coming in white. Well, we want that SC primary foundations. So we're going to come down here, select SC primary foundation, set active, and we're just going to draw right back over the top of it. Okay, once you're done with that, turn off your reference file, and there you have your plan. So under default space, we are going to want to reference in our model subspace. So we go back to your drawing, and select model. At this point you're placing a plan, so you want coincident. We want this to be at a true scale, so 1:1, and we need live nesting. Live nesting is going to be interactive for steel drawings later down the road. Say OK. Fit view, and there's our plan. So at this point we can attach the border and the CS design file. So we're going to go Tools, Attach again. We're going to go find our border in our project. And we can add it so we can go find our CS design file also. add that. Make sure this is set to interactive again. And this time, we're going to tell it to say top. Top lets you place it interactively on your screen. I should say dynamically on your screen. So live nesting on both is going to be 1-to-1. And we're going to say OK. And this is going to get roughly where we want it to be. So as you can see, the border is too small. Oh, sorry, we forgot to do this one. Same thing, just kind of place it interactively. And we can scale up our border and our CS design file at the same time. So we want to highlight both of them. And let's make this a 2-to-1 border. Okay, that's pretty good. So we're going to say move. We're going to move our border roughly into place, right about there. Okay, CS design file. We want to move that one by itself. And we're going to come down from this dot and move it down to the corner of the border. Okay, now the CS design file is located properly. So at this point, we want to clip your main plan. And to do that, we want to come up to the CS design file and copy out this viewport outline. And we're going to place it and then stretch it up to the size that we want. On your references, you want to right click and you want to say clip boundary. So it's going to say element, that's what we want to use. You want to select your element and it's done. So what that does is now let you use a border and use it more like a viewport. You can stretch it, so move it around, you can clip the pieces that you want out, and you're good. Next, we want to come back to model and say we got section cuts that are with this. Well, we are going to go back to civil mod, go back to your same model, make sure it's set to interactive again, say OK, and we want to select a section cut. So this one we want to also say top so it can get placed interactively, 1-to-1, and we don't need nesting on these things. So say OK. So there is a section cut. So same thing, we are going to select primary foundation, which is already selected, and we are going to draw back over the top of it. And at that point you can turn this off. So we're going to go back to default, and you see since we clipped this you don't see the other piece. So what you want to do is copy your reference, just copy it down, grab your little clips, and there's your extra piece. So this looks a little small, we want that blown up for more detail. So we want to right click, we want to delete clip, because this is probably going to blow out into some awkward space, and we're going to turn this into 2-to-1. And you see how it disappeared. So it zoomed way out up here. So we're just going to move it back down. There we go. Move that into space. Right click and say clip boundary. Using an element, I want to use that element, and there it is. So now we can move this wherever we want, and our border goes with us. So that is the proper way to set up a drawing. Thank you.